Namaste, everyone. I'm going to give you Kundalini Yoga for the eclipse. The eclipse is an opportunity to crack open the heart transmission, to debunk taboos, to repattern the mind, and to create a quantum leap into a timeline that is more creative, vibrating in a more geometrically rhythmic and sound velocity. So we get to experience the electromagnetic pulsation of the eclipse, and that enriches I call the electrolyte. We call the electrolytes in the mineral waters, right? That you see in the alkaline water, right? That is high electrolytes. But we also have electrolytes within our magnetic fields that is enhanced by the celestial event, the eclipse. And since we've had multiple eclipses, we've had a lot of major cosmic events happen within this short window of time in this June, July, and really ultimately this whole beginning of 2020 has been a major cosmic event when it comes to the transitioning from one timeline into another timeline. And that's what a quantum leap is. Right? And that's what a timekeeper is. We all have that within our own time-space machine that is our aura, right? We can jump from timelines, and that's what we're doing constantly. And that's what we can say the higher dimensional beings are helping us to do, to jump from one timeline into the next. So we are very much exiting the dark age, but we're still carrying the karma of the dark age, the karma debt. So the karma debt must be paid, and we must be restored back to integrity in order for us to unlock the teachings, the knowledge, and the sort of interstellar consciousness that is the Aquarian age, right? So for 6,000 years, right? When we think of the dating of Stonehenge, right, we think of 5,000, 6,000, 5,000, 4,000. I personally feel they're much older than that, right? We associate these metallithic structures with this ancient period that really, it doesn't seem ancient. When you look at the planetary wheel, 4,000 to 6,000, 7,000 years is really nothing. That's not considered ancient time. Ancient time would be going through a planetary progression multiple times, and that single progression is 26,000 years, right? So we have gone through many planetary progressions as a human being, right? So and a lot of the memory of these different planetary progressions can only be accessed through jumping timelines, because there's more beyond the understanding of the dark age and what the dark age is about. There is multiple dimensions of the human expression, right? And collectively we are in the understanding of the dark age, right? So the understanding of the dark age is basically a timeline with suffering, right? So a lot about the meditation for the dark age that we've been in for thousands of years, a lot of the meditation practice is about overcoming suffering, right? So there's been a huge practice of overcoming suffering. There's a huge practice of behavior, right? There's a focus on behavior, there's a focus on habit, right? Things have to do with the lower chakra. So a lot of meditation in many ways has been about the elevating of the chakra system, right? Because the dark age is associated with the lower chakras. Lower chakras has everything to do with your behavior, your habit, your self-esteem, your sort of imbalances, like could be hormonal imbalances that can lead into these outrage and these sort of imbalanced state in the mind that leads to this kind of neuroses or neurotic behavior, sort of mistakes that were done out of basically chemically being very unstable, right? Because of the sort of imbalance within you, biologically, physiologically. So a lot of the Dark Age is about elevating the chakras, right? Elevating the chakras. So the Dark Age, I sum it up with Sakriya, right? In Kundalini Yoga, Sakriya is the one of the, we could say, the most powerful meditations for elevating the chakras in a short amount of time, right? And that is very much kind of what we've been doing in the Dark Age as meditators, while we've been really in the thick of our behaviors and our habits, addictions, obsessions, that kind of warlike aggression and I versus you, all of that. But the eclipse, and even when we think of like the Mayans, and we think of the eclipse in different civilizations throughout time on this planet Earth, and I'm sure other planetary systems as well, view the eclipse as basically a window into other dimensions, right? It's something of a celebration. It's something of a sort of rite of passage of manhood, womanhood into a more exalted state of connection with the earth, right? So we're going to use the technology of Kundalini Yoga to basically energize our time-space machine, right? So that we can really cultivate a visionary, because eclipse is very much like a visionary quality within our own life, so that we can really hold space, create a sort of magnetic vortex, we'll say, space for that vision to become very, very powerful within us, right? The more powerful the vision is, the more I call electro-lights that we emit out into the universe, like a signal, right? Your heart's transmission, right? So at the end of the day, a lot of liberation, death practice has a lot to do with really exalting the heart transmission, and liberating the heart transmission, and tapping into the fullness of your technology. That your technology could be your physiology, your biology, your soul, right? Your creativity. And in many different religions or spiritual practices, that becomes a complete life, right? A complete life. And that can show up in different ways, different expressions of that, right? I mean, there's so many, different variations of the same sort of, we call it the bliss state, or the complete forgiveness, or the complete sort of grace, or the complete breakthrough that has you moving in a particular timeline that is the access point to your soul. So we're going to connect to this eclipse energy that can be very, very powerful on the psyche, right? Very stimulating, very pressurizing, could be intimidating, very intense, electrifying, right? So if we have any resistance to that kind, our own personal power, or any resistance to change that wants to happen within us, it may not feel as very comfortable. It may feel like we're, pissed off about it, or it can make us very emotional. It could make us really, in a point where like, what is, just wave after wave, like you just can't, right? People can get anxious with it, right? People can feel very unnerved by it. But when we study ourselves with a practice, which we're going to do, then we can actually allow the download to come in, right? And that download will bring a lot of information into the psyche that will help to recalibrate, sort of reorganize the psyche so that it can be a container or a space for this timeline that we're needing more human beings to be a space for that, this timeline. Right, we have the Dark Age timeline, which is extinction of species, many species, eventually extinction of human beings with possible atomic bombs, right? Right, that's kind of, or mass pollution, leading to all kinds of environmental imbalances, with climate refugees, because places are getting way too dangerous. People, survival of the fittest, people can't fit into that kind of environment anymore. It's not sustainable for human life. And all of these humanitarian struggles with continuing this hierarchical caste system, I like to call that. People, there's a lot of discrimination, a lot of withholding of knowledge to women, people of color, all of that kind of stuff. That's very much the Dark Age. We have to basically hold space for a different intelligence, and we have to be able to access it. We have to go to the future, not the future of the Dark Age, because that's a different type of future, right? If you watch the sci-fi movies, that future is pretty like zombies, catastrophes, just wide hysteria, and just everybody is just overpopulated, and nobody feels good or safe. That's not what I'm talking about. If we meditate, the Aquarian Age mantra, which is different, is that we want to meditate the mind into the future. The future is now. That's kind of the mantra for that's not the Dark Age, the Piscean Age, it's Aquarian Age. Now, the future is now, right? And that's all about, you need to project into your future self. You need to connect to this timeline because it's there, but you have to, I call reverse engineer it, right? So this technology, we call these flying discs, right? We talk about, these, what do you call it, or spaceships, right? And there's whole sort of theory of, military, government, reverse engineering these type of, sort of technologies that are not of this planet, and really not of our understanding, our current sort of intelligence, right? And reverse engineering is a way for us to create a bridge from our state of understanding of technology to this sort of interdimensional space that we are actually connected to, right? These ETs that we think are, so you have the technology that we are just very inferior to, right? We are actually connected to them. Just like the internet, we're connected to all kinds of information, right? And that's the thing with this cosmic web, or this cosmic internet, right? We'll say, is it is internet, is interdimensional, right? So a lot of the future is about using these sort of power surge. The eclipse is just a power surge, basically a power surge that you can use to give yourself a fuel to boost your aura, to boost your magnetism. It can even be to use that energy to give you this sort of breakthrough within whatever fear, whatever doubt. Because I'm telling you, when you have more energy, you have more grit, or you have more enthusiasm. When we don't have much energy, we tend to feel like really like delayed and like moody, and I can't do it, and like that kind of thing. We feel very, very unable or disabled, right? We participate in that. But when we have that sort of grit, that kind of enthusiasm, we're more likely to have that breakthrough, right? So the breakthrough is always going to give us a challenge, right? But the thing about the challenge is when you have the vision of what it is, Like, you connect with your future self and you have that vision of that command that they give you. Your future self will give you a command. It's your elder. Elders are commanders. They command you to do things like go to school, right? Or end that relationship. Like, if you have elders, like real elders, they'll be straight up with you. Like, if you have a grandmother, a great grandmother, they'll tell you straight up, like, change jobs, relocate, you know, and it'll come to you like, whoa, like, where is that coming from? Like, it just comes so straight on, so direct, right? And your future self is basically an elder, right? It's belonging to a different dimension of yourself, right? And there's different dimensions of that future self. But the more that you use like this eclipse with this powerful full moon in Capricorn to develop more energy in the system, put more energy into the system, the more that you're going to level up your future self, right? Because the more enthusiasm you have, the more you're projecting out a sort of a creative timeline or a mantra. That's a projection. It's a sound current, a current, right? Current is traveling through time, right? Basically current, or traveling through space, right? Like a river, it's traveling through a large geographic region, right? And it travels through time. It goes continuously, and that's what a sound current is. It goes continuously like a river, crossing through time, crossing through a large space, right? And you get to kind of create the prevailing sound current, your prevailing projection, and it's through your sort of participation with your vision. And how much time do you spend interacting with it, right? How much time do you feed it? What do you feed it? Are you're working on it? You going into it? And that's why I say your future self, if anything, what it wants from you is craftsmanship. If anything, it wants craftsmanship. Craftsmanship is the greatest word because it implies that you're focused, you're determined, you're dedicated, you're patient, you're graceful, and you're resilient. Because even if you're doing something that seems very like you're just a clay, what do you call, a wood maker, you know, it seems kind of, you know, people can see it as whoa, or some people can see it as seeming simple, but there's a craftsmanship to it, right? There's a sort of a high quality of expression that comes through it. It becomes very very talented. It becomes very precious, right? Because of the type of vision that it holds. Everything, every item, everything has energy. Like even an old grandfather pocket watch is seen as something very lucky to some people, right? Because there's a lot of creative energy. It gives craftsmanship. It gives this sort of projection, right? Everything in your house, it gives this sort of projection. It creates a sound current. It gives off a frequency like a crop circle, right? A geometric sort of vibrating sort of transmission. So when we tune our heart transmission to the vision that we have, and we're doing consistently in a momentum like a river, right? The river, I see as the river was carved out. I like to, in a poetic sort of way, I imagine that the ocean had so, it was overflowing, that it, over many generations, many thousands of years, it carved into the land, right? And that's your momentum. You're basically carving into this land your sound current. And you carve into it, just like when we think of the riverbank, right? Or we think of, it's just, there's a sense of you, there's the sound current. It really puts it into place, right? So that's why we work so much on the sound current, because you're putting it more into place each and every day. And the eclipse, why it can be beneficial to helping you do that, is because it gives you a surge of energy. So if you're feeling in any way like you're needing to do something, but you have all kinds of reservations, fears, doubts, it will be like that elder, right? Because it's a portal to your future self that will literally enhance your vision and it will give you that kind of self-esteem or that sort of enthusiasm to align more with the more expansive future. And that's what the eclipse is. Human wants to connect with its more expansive future. Not, I mean, you're not going to meditate on a future self and just see yourself like not creative. Like, what's the point? Like, you don't do that, right? Usually people meditate upon the future self, future self meditations, because they want to connect to the elder. They want to connect to their expansion and reverse engineer it so that they can begin to really, if they don't have an intention, or if they're not clear, or if there's a block or some sort of shadow or some low self-esteem from childhood, they want to get real with themselves, because the elder is the voice of reason that will get you real, right? In the most loving and yet direct way. And in this world where we're kind of like all like sort of just, sugarcoating and letting our kids just get away with anything, and we're just in many ways kind of shoving it under the rug. We're avoiding things. We're just not head on. We're just, in many ways, we can't take it. We can't take that kind of life of, that leading life. So, but the elders, we go to them because in many ways we need that kind of straight on, that sort of directness of the elders. Too many times give us to help us get real with ourselves, right? So that we can start to really tap into what is the creative force that I really want to tap into, because you will know intuitively, you will feel it, right? And you will be led to it, and it will remind you of something that is very, like, you're just, whoa, it just really gives you the tingles. It just really gives you the shivers. And that's all it's the subtle realm, right? That's the power of the subtle realm, is that it basically gives you the tingles, the shivers, these sensations as an indication of what it is that in this life you are wanting to create within the heart transmission. And I see it as, it's more about the heart transmission that is the kind of future self, or the sort of expansion or sort of wealth of our lives is in the heart transmission, right? And our ability to create an environment or community, or create self-concept around the heart transmission that makes us feel, or gets us in connection with our infinite. And we can see our infinite as all the lifetimes we have, and all of the sort of talents and gifts that are there in our aura, in our arc line. It's just, there needs to be a sort of connection point to the heart. They don't just come in, they come in when we start to really tap into the heart transmission, right? And that eclipse is like that kind of window, that sort of portal, that sort of time breaking down, that sort of dimensions are merging, or the sort of barriers between this dimension and the many other higher dimensions, even lower dimensions, the underworld, right, and the higher, we call like the angel realms. It all becomes in our grasp, and we can use that, right, to really get some things done. And a lot of what we're getting done is the internal, right? Because the external is just merely a sort of echo of what we are basically putting out, what we are, the sound current of internal. So we want the echo. The great thing is what we want as like meditators, is we want the echo to be basically our mantra recitation. So a lot of times we do mantra recitation continuously because we want the echo to be the mantra, right? But a lot of the echoes, what comes back to us, right, like the boomerang, is is basically the universe responding to us, the earth responding to us. And this could be of many past lives, or past, it could be of the future. I mean, who knows? But there's a response, and that response is basically giving us a message on our challenge, our breakthrough, and the next phase, or the current phase, or what it is that internally, the shifting that needs to happen or is happening for us to expand a little further, right? So that who we are can be like of this grand gesture, this grand momentum, this grand sort of sound current, right? But a lot of people are mainly working on, especially the dark ages, karma stuff. A lot of people are more in the realm of the shadow, right? Which is about the human condition, and that has everything to do with shame, judgment, feelings of not being good enough. That can be of lying to yourself, lying to other people, putting yourself down, putting other people down. That could be about some kind of aggressions, competitions, these kinds of setbacks, right? These quote-unquote delays, or these perceived disabilities, or these restrictions, limitations, right? The sort of work-slave society. All of that is a kind of shadow that we must sort of burn through the karma of that in order to reach the grit that we require, right? It's almost like when you walk across the fire, right? That's an actual tradition, spiritual practice, where you walk across the fire, these firestones, right? And it's very liberating, and it's basically about the sort of the burning of the karma, but also it's kind of a sense of, again, burning through the karma, but also breaking through the blockages psychologically. In the Dark Age, the one thing about the Dark Age and what it was so heavy is that the Dark Age was all about psychological war, basically. This is a psychological battle, right? A psychological war that we've all been with ourselves, with each other, and all of that. That psychological war has everything to do with the human condition, and how the mind, it seems very blocked, right? And when we start to put in a sound current, right, through some sort of act, it could be a spiritual act, a physical act, an emotional act of sovereignty, or some kind of dignity, or some kind of self-love, or a symbol of self-love, that all of a sudden it restores the natural psychological rhythm, which is to have a vision, and to not destroy your vision, right? All of us, we destroy vision, because the Dark Age, in many ways, has been a psychological war with ourselves, and then we don't have the vision anymore. We lose that sort of vision, that sort of neutrality, that sort of, we can say, magician of the mind, in the kind of the sort of reality of it, the real creative edge that is where we find the wealth. That is the creative edge. It's where we find that wealth of culture, of artistry, and begin to build the Renaissance within us. So we're going to just tune right in. So just bring the hands to the heart. Inhale. Roll the shoulders back and down, tucking the chin slightly. Spine is very tall. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to tune in with O-N-G, Namo, Gurudev, Namo. Okay, calling in the teachers, the wise ones, the elders, those who have self-mastery, who have ascended into higher vibrations of love, dignity, nobility, and intelligence, here to help us raise our vibration, raise our Kundalini, so that we can expand into higher vibrations of expression, of care, respect, enough creativity on this planet so that we can begin to create sculpt into this earth, a sort of opening timeline for the opening of the timeline of this future of Renaissance, so that we can start to flood in energy in the proper direction where we really need to be going as a human species. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Now inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale. Squeeze up and in. Squeeze sex organ, rectum, navel, belly button to spine. Tuck in the chin. Press the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And really vibrate the cosmos in your endocrine system. Exhale. Now imagine 4 pillars of light around you as you spin this royal blue flame clockwise, to the right, behind you, to the left, ahead of you, as you imagine you're seated in a burning royal blue bush of God. Inhale to begin protection mantra. Adgadename, Jagadgadename, Sadgadename, Siddhi Gurudev Ename. Adgadename, Jagadgadename, Sadgadename, Siddhi Gurudev Ename. Adgadename, Jagadgadename, Sadgadename, Siddhi Gurudev Ename. Inhale. Squeeze up. Hold the breath. Press the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Exhale. We'll come into cat-cow. So inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Inhale. Stick the butt up. Press the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Squeeze the root lock. Exhale around the back. Squeeze navel. Press the pelvic area forward and up. Now breathe long and deep through the nose as you bring your hands to prayer above your head and your forehead to the earth. Inhale, exhale, come up, come seated onto your bottom. And then we'll do a breath of fire, and even inhale, exhale through the nose. Bring your hands into prayer. Press the hands firm together. And then with your mind's eye, focus on the up and in. Imagining the white flame of the heart, like imagining a white dove or a white swan, 2 white swans. See the white flame of the heart? That's the Holy Spirit. Begin now. Inhale. Hold the breath, squeeze up and in, press the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Exhale. Now we're going to do a fist of anger, so bring the thumb onto the pinky mound, the Mercury finger. Bring the fingers over the thumb, and you're going to sort of punch around yourself as you bring up all your anger, resentment, frustration, rage, all of the sort of malbehavior, addictions, obsessions, all of that which makes you feel the heat of destruction. You're going to punch it through you, get in touch with that inner destructive sort of fire, right? And you're going to remedy it. You're going to work it out, right? Just work it out within yourself so that you don't feel inclined as much to work it out on other people, right? Creating what we call karma, working out our own destructive fire and putting it into our kids, into our relationships, and then creating this kind of karma, with this kind of scar, this kind of wound. What a lot of it has to do with our own shadow, with our own insecurities, with our own sort of destructive habits, behaviors, addictions, obsessions that lead to us kind of taking it out on our people. So if we just take it out on ourselves when we present to other people, our kids or spouse or friends or colleagues, we're going to have a handle on the beast, right? Rather than the beast is there, we're ignoring the beast, and the beast just comes out whenever she feels like it. And that's not what we want. We don't want this beast coming out whenever. We want to kind of grab it, we want to work it out, and we want to remedy that beast. We want to turn that beast into a calm beast, right? Not all beasts have to be this raging maniac. Some beasts can be very calm, very collect, and yet there's a power that beasts can use when it needs to, right? That's animals. When you think of lionesses are very smart. They're beasts, right? They're very smart. They will not exalt. They will not exhaust, I want to say. They will not exhaust excess amount of energy in chasing in the hunt, right? Because they can contain themselves. They know, I shouldn't exhaust this much energy because that will cause possible damage to me, right? That's the same as our beast. We need to think of like that lioness. Like, I don't want to, put that kind of energy into this relationship because that might actually damage me, right? That's literally what these lionesses are thinking when they're hunting. Because some lionesses, they can actually die. They can get fatigued to the point where they can't run and they can't hunt, and then, they could possibly die, right? Because they have to be able to hunt consistently, right? But if they exhaust all their energy, they're like, because it takes a lot of energy for the lioness to pounce. It takes a lot of energy to do that, right? So if we have that same sort of mindset, that kind of consolidated, contained side of beasts of that lioness, when we would, be in the relationship, right? In many ways, we would have that kind of, I don't want to exhaust this energy in this relationship because that could damage me, that could damage them. We could be, and not have any energy to actually heal from this. That's what you need to think. Like, if I'm putting all of this fat, all of this energy into this whatever heated argument, that could exhaust both, to the point where we could even damage our sort of reserve energy, or sort of damage that kind of energy exchange we have with that person. And some people, they can't heal from that, or it takes them a long time to heal, and then there's a sort of separation or break, because there needs to be a long time of healing from that. Because even though we may say we're saying a couple words here and there, a couple jabs or whatever, those couple words, couple jabs could actually take years for people to heal from, because that's how sensitive the human psyche is. It's very, very sensitive. So there's some people who are harboring onto memories or jabs or kind of things that were said to them from childhood, from past lives. I mean, from, an argument they had with their, let's say, father and son, and that argument was like 20 years ago. But the human psyche is very sensitive. And that's where we have to, use like fists of anger, right? So that we can kind of build up that sort of contained, consolidated beast of the lioness or the lion in us, so that when we are in the heat of aggression or the heat of attack or the hunt, we want something, we're not getting something, we gotta get it or whatever, that we're not in a wave of exhaustion to the point of damaging ourselves or damaging our connection or damaging our ability to have victory in that relationship or in that conversation, in whatever that exchange is we're having with that person, right? Because whatever, like the circle of life, whatever it is that we're doing with somebody, we want it to be like a circle of life. And the circle of life, again, is death and rebirth. That's the whole Yogi Bhajan practice of resurrection. It's a circle of life. We're going to have deaths in relationships, and we're going to be reborn. And you would hope you would have deaths and rebirths consistently. Or what are you probably are not even alive. You're just, psychologically dead or something. It's human beings in a single lifetime will experience multiple deaths and rebirths, much transformation if you're in a relationship that's alive, right? And not psychologically dead, emotionally dead, right? And a part of that death and rebirth, the circle, the circle of life is about the Renaissance. And there's a point where you have to get a handle on your destructive behaviors and your habits and your addictions and your obsessions, because if not, the circle of life will never move. You'll never recover. You never build up your energy. You'll never have the healing. You'll never really restore the balance in your life. So you'll be like a lioness that has exhausted all its energy and it can't even hunt, right? Because it hasn't recovered, right? So it can't complete the circle of life, right? Because of I was impulsive, and I just, I wasn't really, instinctually, intuitively really checking in with myself. And that's what human beings, our psyche is so sensitive, and yet we kind of are disconnected from that sensitivity, or we're kind of numbing that kind of connection, and to the point where instinctually and intuitive becomes kind of obsolete, or not obsolete, it becomes kind of it becomes unavailable to us instinctually and intuitively. We don't really see the sort of full circle, which is to see the whole projection of that, the life of that single decision. That's what intuitive and instinctually is, to see the whole life of that argument or that kind of thing. And all those arguments, it should have a sort of again, a full circle. You should see it as the circle of life. It should have a death and rebirth, not death, destruction, and then there's no rebirth because you're damaged and you can't recover because you're just too exhausted to, right? And it takes you multiple months, right, to do that, to just get to the rebirth. So we want every argument, upset, rage, resentment, there should be a full circle to that, right? There should be, kind of a coming of age to that, right? A coming to age, or a full circle, right? The life, the life circle. And the life circle implies that you're going to go through the destruction. You're going to go through the wanting to destroy yourself. You're going to go through whatever shadow that you're carrying in your childhood or on the collective, the human condition, all of that. And it's just a matter of fact of how are you working that in your life? Are you just exhausting yourself with that? Are you just depleting yourself with that? Or are you using that energy to be like a lioness, right? Using that as a beast, that beast energy of kill, right? Lioness is a kill. Use that sort of kill energy that you have, the hunt energy, to actually get something that's going to nourish you, right? So a lioness is not just killing and destroying life, right? Such as a zebra, instead of Libra, zebra, right? Is not killing a zebra just for the hell of it, just I'm pissed off, let me just kill this thing and hope that I'll maybe feel better, That's not the beast. The beast is like, I'm killing, destroying this animal because I'm creating the full circle, which is I'm nourishing myself with this animal, right? That's what I'm saying. In us as human beings, we have that same destructive, killer, aggressive, like attack type of animal in us, that beast. But a lot of times we don't know how to take it out. We don't know where to project that at, right? We think, oh, I gotta project it on my husband, they're pissing me off, or my kids, or everybody else is pissing me off, so let me just destroy them. But do we get nourishment from it? No. A lot of us, we're taking in all these people and we're exhausted, right? We're doing that, and then we're looking at these relationships and we're like, we completely suck it dry of nourishment. So a relationship that was very nourishing is now not very nourishing. So Fist of Anger works a lot with you tapping in with your own sensitivity, your own sensitive psyche, so that you can start to project this destructive beast-like behavior towards yourself. Put the pressure towards yourself, and that is what's going to make you a lot more constructive with the sort of energy you're projecting anger onto other people. You'll be a lot more purposeful with it because you put the pressure on yourself, right? So you're putting that pressure on yourself so that you can really get yourself to face this anger and rage and do something with it that's gonna actually get you somewhere, rather than looking at it and then just sitting there frozen with it, right? So, Fist of Anger. So we'll begin now. So breath, fire through the O-shaped mouth. Inhale. Bring the fingertips, interlace them, press the palms up to the sky, sip more air through the mouth. Hold the breath, squeeze root lock, press the tongue on the roof of the mouth, stretch the heart, stretch the armpits up. Exhale. Sweep the hands through the aura, palms facing the earth. Bring each fingertip to the earth. And you can mentally chant Satanama, Satanama, Satanama as you bring each fingertip to the earth at a 60-degree angle, dropping the shoulders down, opening up the heart. Breathe long and deep through the nose and just really feel that you're connecting with the minerals of the earth, and you're sort of pulling the minerals, the electrolytes from the earth, right? The water in the soil, right? The water in the earth, and you're pulling it up into your body, flushing it through your blood, making you feel more nourished. Just breathe in and out, and just feel that you have more energy now. The more energy you have, it becomes natural. It doesn't become secondary. It becomes primary nature to make decisions that are for nourishment, in exchange of nourishment. And sometimes nourishment can be tough, right? Like, it's not always easy for us to eat like curry, right? But it's very nourishing, but it's kind of tough for some people, right? Because the spice is just whoa. So sometimes nourishment will shock you. It won't necessarily be a peachy clean, peachy, what is it called? Sweetie peach kind of thing, right? Sometimes it'll be like eating curry, and it's like, whoa, like it'll just shock you, right? Something a little hot and bitter or spicy, and it will sting you. But it's nourishing. And that's what we should think about in a relationship. It should bring growth. It should make a relationship go full circle, not we're just showing each other and then we're just sitting back and then watching TV and then or having sex and then we're not even going full circle. We're just spinning our wheels, not really nourishing each other or really creating a higher magnetic force within the relationship that deepens the transformation we experience with another. Inhale, exhale. Now we're going to do diction meditation. So bring the thumb onto the temples, and you're going to have the other fingers on the finger mounds like this. You're going to inhale through the nose. You're going to hold the breath, press the tongue on the roof of the mouth, squeezing sex organ, rectum, navel, squeezing belly button to spine, and then you're going to mentally recite Satanama, Satanama, Satanama as many times as you can while you hold your breath. And then you're going to, as you recite Satanama, you're going to bring the back molars together with each sound. So Satanama, okay, bringing the back molars together. Exhale long and deep all the way out. And then you're going to inhale to repeat. Okay, so we're going to begin now. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands down, resting on the knees. Just breathe in and out through the nose. Just really feel that adjustment that's happening within you. Feeling very, very stable within yourself mentally. We're really clearing out a lot of the psychological junk that we have been dumping into the psychomagnetic field for many generations. We've been dumping our karma, our trauma into each other's psychomagnetic field, transferring this, but never really facing it until one in a generation, or one in multiple generations, or many in many generations decide to actually work through the psychological sort of debris and start to like flush it out and start to take that psychological debris and bite it, eat it, digest it, eliminate it, and be done with it. But a lot of people don't have the gut, literally the metabolic gut, to actually process it, because the gut, which is the physical force of you, is atrophied, it's underworked, it's not worked at all, it's not practiced, right? So digesting that psychological, eating it and then eliminating it, it requires a particular gut, right? It requires a particular life force, right? Because some of that psychological debris in that psychomagnetic field, it's literally whirling around this, constantly in this collision with this psychological garbage, right? From childhood beliefs, judgment, shame, feelings not being good enough, that, when we finally just grab and, bite into it and swallow it, use the beast to actually attack your own psychological whatever stuff and go for it, grab it, almost like we're going into the sewage of our lower self, and we're grabbing this lower self, this lost little boy, this lost little girl, and we're going in there with this grit of determination of like, I'm gonna grab this version of myself and I'm gonna consume them, meaning I'm going to integrate them. I'm going to literally push them into my heart chakra, knowing that I have a strong enough heart chakra to be able to handle the karma or the trauma of that particular lower self, or that childhood wound, or that past life memory. And that's why we work a lot on these meditations, so that when you do face your shadow, when you do face your lower self, when you do face someone else's lower self, instead of transferring the trauma and the karma and just keep bouncing it back, why don't you just eat it? Why don't you just consume it? Why don't you just digest it? Why don't you just let it come out, eliminate it, bring it back to planet Earth? But how we do it is through the life force, bringing a force of a light into the connection, into your the sewage of your lower self. And that is how we integrate a force of light. We integrate, right? Electro-Lights is what helps us to integrate. Like when you go to the northern lights, right, and you sit underneath them, what do you feel? You feel the force of light. And that force of light, it gives you an integration. It helps you to integrate life, the life energy, the elemental, the subtle, the spiritual, the physical, helps you to integrate all of that. So now we're going to come into this Kriya for the eclipse, so how we can better open up the spaces within our body so that we can actually receive the download that can help us to enhance our vision, because vision is creativity, it is destiny. It is the ability to see into the unknown, to see into the future, to be able to deconstruct the timeline, to reinvent the timeline. And the vision is behind this sort of renaissance that sculpts into an era, or sculpts into a time on Earth, an era, an age of one's own innovative originality. That's what it is. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come onto the balls of our feet, bringing the heels together, the knees together like this, working on the ankles. So the ankles may try to roll out like that. You want to really bring the ankles together and your spine is tall, and then you're going to hold like an Indian chief, and you can just look straight ahead at something to focus your balance. And it helps if you breathe deeply. Okay, inhale, exhale, and just roll up. Have your feet hip width apart. Grab opposite ankle and just fold over. Just kind of folds the armpit into the knee. Really stick the butt straight up and try to bring the head, the heart to the earth. Just let your lower back itch because you're stretching, right? Let it itch, just itch as you're stretching the spine. Keep holding. Inhale, exhale, and then what you're going to do is you're going to come back onto the balls of the feet, your knees together. You're going to feel it in your thighs. You're going to have your hands on the earth, and then what you're going to do is you're gonna come forward onto the knees and then come back. So inhale forward, exhale back. And you really want to tuck the knee sort of into the armpit as you come back, and it's almost, you're creating a stretch. You're working on the ankles. And you're not slamming your knees onto the earth. Okay, inhale and just kind of sit onto the into rock pose. Inhale, exhale. Okay, inhale, exhale. So now what you're going to do is you're going to come up onto the knees and you're going to have your hands like fists here at the heart. You're going to twist left to right. Inhale to the left, exhale to the right. It's 8 times. And then you're going to come into camel. So you come into camel, and you can create your own rhythm of being in camel, right? It can be for 4 seconds or for 8 seconds, and then go back to the twist. You can do 2 rounds of Satanama, mentally reciting. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Now come back onto your knees and just, you could feel the opening in the spine. Now, I'm going to grab your elbows above your head. Yes. Lifting the armpits up. And then what you're going to do, you can just hold for a second to really feel the spine. You want to tuck in the chin slightly. You really want to focus on lifting that up. And what you're going to do is you're going to come to the side, come forward, come to the other side, come back. So it's not so much like a rotation where we think of the base of the spine. You're more so rotating and opening up the heart. So in a clockwise motion. And just breathe long and deep. So left, forward, right, back. Inhale, exhale. Now come on to your bottom, have your legs stretched out ahead of you. And what we're gonna do, so you can kind of feel a little bit achy as you're kind of seated on your knees. I like to bring a blanket underneath my bottom, so I'm gonna downward slope. I'm gonna reach for, I guess, my shin, and then I'm just going to rotate the base of the spine, looking out with my mind's eye towards my toes, but I can close my eyes so I can focus inward towards the base of the spine, and just create a rotation, a fast sort of rotation. As you feel the fold of the hips as your heart's reaching towards your knees. And just breathe long and deep. Okay, and then begin to rotate in the other direction. You're sort of loosening up the base of the spine. And you can come even further over. Still keeping your head up. Inhale, exhale, fold over. Okay, and then just come back up and come seated and just feel the adjustment of the whole system. Your hands Gyan Mudra resting on the knees. Do you feel any tingles? Do you feel emotional? Do you feel any change in you? Now you're going to interlace the fingers at the back of the head, kind of pulling up, and then you're going to bring the head down as you close the elbows around the head. And you're just going to lift up the collarbone, but you're dropping the head down, creating space in the back of the neck. And just breathe long and deep through the nose. Inhale. Exhale. Now open it up and really press up. The back of the head, press up. Inhale. Exhale. Now drop your head back, open the jaw as wide as you can, and just breathe through the nose. As you begin to tap on the sort of the sternum with the kind of knuckles, the thymus gland. Okay, inhale, exhale, and just bring the head back up, feel the thyroid. Now just bring both hands on the heart, just begin to chant Om Namo, Om Namo, 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 Namo Namo 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 Namo. Inhale, exhale. Begin to continue to sing. Continue to sing. Listen to the mantra and repeat the sounds. Dadi Akash hai Guru Ramdas hai. Listen and repeat. Dadi Akash hai Guru Ramdas hai. 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 Feel the vibration in your heart. Dadi Akash hai Guru Ramdas hai. 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 Dadi Akash hai Guru Ramdas Dardi Hakasha 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 Guru Ramdas hai, Hari Akash hai, Guru Ramdas hai, Dadi 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 Akash hai, Guru Ramdas hai. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Relax the hands down via mudra and just sit for a moment. Feel the heart energy healing. Feel the heat, the sort of pure white energy. See the blue energy at the heart. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Kind of open your eyes. You can kind of move around if you need to kind of open up your awareness, because we're going to come out of the meditation and we're going to come into a posture. This will be a seated posture or a standing posture. Okay, so we're going to bring this heart energy and we're going to cross it into the body. So we create this heart energy, powerful heart energy crossing into the body. So come standing and then just twist. Bring the left hand towards the right foot, twist. And then switch. Right hand towards the left foot. Looking up. And then switch again. Breathe long and deep. Switch again. Switch again. Switch again. Inhale. Exhale, reach both ankles. And then roll up. So we're going to put the left foot in tree pose. But we're going to have it up like this in the advanced tree pose. And you're going to grab the toe. You're going to have, so I have left knee in the fold, grabbing the toes with my right hand, and my left hand's going to be out. Palm faced up. You can focus on something on the wall, and then you just really want to focus on dropping, letting the hip open. Okay, inhale, exhale, bring the leg down, feel the adjustment in the spine, and then we'll bring the right leg up into advanced tree pose, and you're gonna kind of fit it into the hip, opening up the right hip, bringing the right arm up, palm facing up, and you can focus something on the wall. really opening up the hip. Just really open up that hip. Let that knee come down. Okay, inhale, exhale, now really stretch. Okay, inhale, exhale, drop the foot and come back seated. Feel that in the spine. And what we're going to do now is we're going to like hug ourselves. Hug ourselves very much like this. And then we're just going to go side to side. It's not a big, vigorous movement, just side to side. You also want to feel the head too. And then begin a breath of fire. Inhale, exhale, now bring it even further up, kind of grab the shoulders, tuck the chin in. And then create figure eights. Breath of fire. Inhale, exhale, relax. What you're going to do now is you're going to clasp the hands above the head, right into the arc line. You're going to hold it there, and you're going to begin to sing this song, call, and you're going to really put that mantra into the arc line. Oh. Exhale, open the hands wide and receive. Receive. And then begin to take in this mantra. Begin to take it in. Don't need to do anything. Just take this mantra in. Let this shower on you, shower upon you like rain coming down into you, onto you, coming within you. Okay, inhale, exhale, and just bring the hands down, hands Gyan Mudra on the knees. Just kind of listen. And then begin to bring your hand, your left hand out, kind of like a curl, curved, like a C, letter C. And then you're going to bring all fingertips together, the right hand, the right hand, the right hand, all fingers together. And press it on the mounds of the finger like this. Hold it here at the heart. And then begin to chant. Inhale, exhale. Now rest your forehead, your hands beside your hips, rest the head on the ground like this.
Okay, inhale. Exhale.
Come up. And then we're just going to lay it all the way back on our back. You're going to have your knees in a butterfly posture, and you're going to hug yourself like this. And then relax the hands beside you. Okay, inhale, exhale, and then just come back up, rock and roll. And then we'll do a short little meditation. So this one is going to get you connected to the heart energy. Gonna get you radiant with your heart energy. So this is going to really energize you. So you're going to basically, you're gonna listen, and then you're going to begin to pound, okay, in the rhythmic intelligence with the song. Okay, so we'll try to, let me see, find this. Okay. It's almost like you're hitting the drum. I'm gonna hit it you're getting your shoulders, you're wanting to awaken your heart. Fists tight. Let it trigger you. Breathe in and out. We're going to continue on, creating the heat of your sort of heart frequency, expanding that heart frequency so that you can experience more fulfillment in your conversation with life. Really imagine like you're dancing with your heart. You're breaking through the blocks when it comes to expressing yourself. Really feel the fire. See the fire. Moving your shoulders, you're really unlocking the heart. Keep going, go, 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 go. It's really, you're moving your shoulders. It's not necessarily a punch, it's though you're hitting a drum. Like you're hitting a drum. You can move forward and back, side to side. Just move. Now just keep going, keep going, keep going. The heart is building, the fire. It's like you're creating a fire within your heart, helping to break through the blocks in which you cannot express yourself correctly, appropriately, creatively. Really do it ecstatically. Exalt your heart. Make it meaningful. Make your heart meaningful. Go wild. Really unblock your self-expression. You can go up, down, side, side. Now really get in touch. You know the movement. Now really go unique with it. Freestyle. Really hit, 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 pound, pound, pound. It's using your shoulders. Just become very passionate. Like you could do this for 20 hours. Keep going, you're almost there. You're almost there. Now just really experience it. Really unlock your creativity through the emotional channel. Your creativity is an emotional channel. Okay, inhale, hold it here at the heart. Exhale, hold the fist at the heart. Inhale. Now visualize the flame in between your hands as blue, a blue flame. Exhale, inhale. Visualize you're inside this blue flame. It is consuming you. You're engulfed in it. See your inner child your old self and the self you are now and the new self. The many selves of you inside this blue flame. Exhale and relax. Relax completely. And listen. Listen to the rain. Listen to the rain. Visualize the blue flame. Visualize the blue flame. The royal blue flame in your heart, and visualize you're playing with it like you're dancing in the Northern Lights. Focus now, see the blue flame in your heart, expand it so that it's encompassing you, it's consuming you, and then see it all around you like Northern Lights arcing over you, raining onto you, falling the rain onto you. Focus on the blue flame. See it in the Northern Lights, see it in your aura, see it in your arc line, the ethereal force that kind of moves above your head, side to side. See it, the ethereal blue ray, the blue rays of you. See your ethereal scent, smell your ethereal scent. Feel that ethereal essence, energy, electrolytes, like Northern Lights, electromagnetic current, like a sound current. See it, focus, listen, see the blue flame in your heart, see it in your whole aura, see it as the ethereal energy of you, the subtle, sensitive energy, restoring the subtlety, the sensitivity of your emotions, restoring the emotional impact, healing the numbness, restoring the emotional profound impact, the sort of philosophy of each and every emotion, making it poetically round and deep and meaningful, spiritual. Feel the rain pouring on you, cleaning you, cleaning you. Feel the rain cleaning you. Do not be afraid. Allow the rain, the thunder to wash you. Bathe in the rain. Become vulnerable, naked to it. Take off your clothes in the rain and bathe. Bathe. Clean. Feel the rain. See the ethers, the Northern Lights, as though you're living in the Northern Hemisphere, in the position that is able to make contact with the Northern Lights. See it, visualize, feel the royal blue flame of you like a fire, a flame inside your heart, inside your gut, your spine. Become elated. Become totally in your ecstatic expression mobility, movement, the Renaissance, the rebirth, reinvention, re-identification, redefinition, revolution. See that kind of death, birth, rebirth, feeling that you have creative say, a conversation with the universe, sort of collaboration, connection, sort of leadership with it. Now begin to speak out loud to the ethereal blue within you and the ethereal blue that is outside you in the northern lights and the wealth of this universe. Focus on the ethereal blue. As you begin to chant to the ethereal blue within you, the royal blue, the wealth of the universe, the true transformative wealth, the magic, the magician, the alchemy, transmutation, the prosperity of Jupiter, the blue, the royal blue. As you chant to it, connecting to Jupiter, connecting to the infinite, feeling the interdimensional presence of you, interdimensional presence, higher realms, highest realms. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen or king. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen. And in your mind's eye, learn what that means. What is that? What does it mean? Who is that within you? What kind of character, kind of vibrational impact, what kind of vortex is such a thing? Talk like a sage, walk like a queen. 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 Now see your future self. See the future self, the expanded, magnetic, victory self. See it connecting to your inner child self as you integrate both into one sound current. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen. 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 Now see that in your creativity, in what you are projecting out. See that in your vision. You hold a vision of yourself. See that as the vision. When you look in the mirror, see it in your eyes. See it in your stature. See it in your presence, the narrative you have. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen. 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 Now see yourself expressing these gifts you have in being victorious, triumphing, having the great achievement, excellence in that which you are doing, becoming, sharing, projecting, inventing. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen, visualize it, focus. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen. Now say it with grit. Say it as though you are this, and say it meaningful. Say it with power. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen. 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 You're building an ego, a positive ego, a neutral ego, a humble, graceful ego. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen. 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 Now let the rain wash away the things you do, you say, the things you constantly battle with, the belief system, programs, the human condition that has you thinking and acting in ways that are not what you are proclaiming. Let the rain just wash it out, clean it up, take it, put it into the soil, let it sweat, let it drip off your body. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen. Talk like a sage, walk like the queen. The dirt, the bruises, the wounds, it's all just falling away as the rain is taking it. Talk like a sage, walk like a queen. 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 Inhale. Hold the breath. Now see yourself in the vision, completing the vision, realizing the vision, making it happen. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now bring your hands together. We'll tune out with one long sat and short nam. Inhale. Sat nam, sat nam, sat nam. Bow to yourself.